As with all aviation, there's multiple redundancy. All right. Welcome, Captain Allen, to Flight Experience Adelaide.
Thank you, Darren.
And we are sitting in the cockpit of the 737-800. All the systems are on, engines are running. We're at the holding point of runway 23 in Adelaide. That's the runway just extending off to our right there. But before we enter the runway, we'll go through all the instruments and controls, just so you have a little bit of an idea of what you're going to be working with and what you're going to be looking at. Starting with the control in front of you, that's called the yoke, like a steering wheel on the car.
Yeah.
We'll basically turn left,
Yeah.
turn right. If we push forward, we'll go towards the ground. If we pull back, we'll go into the air. This only has effect in flight. It has no control on the ground. When we're on the ground, we use a couple of other methods of steering. One's the tiller beside you. That actually steers the nose wheel, which is positioned a little bit behind us. So it's going to be a bit like driving a truck. The full forward is a full right lock. All the way back is a full left lock. It is quite sensitive, so when you discover you only need small movements as you steer. The tiller is used to steer the aircraft from the gate through to the holding point, sort of onto the runway. Once we're lined up on the runway and we start our takeoff roll, we actually transfer our steering to the pedals. Now, if you put both feet on the pedals, pedals are like will operate the rudder, which is at the vertical tail of the aircraft. And to operate, basically, just like a boat, if we turn the rudder to the left, it'll move left. If we turn it to the right, it'll move right. Again, we'll only use these on the takeoff roll and the landing roll. When we're in flight, a system known as yaw damper will take over and do a rudder control automatically for us. But we can override it if we need to. Now, if you actually lift your feet up off the deck and push your toes forward on top of the pedals, you'll feel there's a couple of other pedals up the top there. They're the most important ones that you pointed out before. They're the brakes.
They're the brakes.
Brakes, there's two brakes, one for each rear wheels. They are differential, so we've got to apply even pressure on them when we're using them to stop, because otherwise we can end up steering the aircraft with them. But for takeoff, we'll make sure we leave our heels on the ground so we don't accidentally put the brakes on in flight. So we're coming over to the thrust quadrant. Two engines on the aircraft, engine 1, engine 2. Like an accelerator on a car. All the way back, it's pretty much at idle. Forward for more thrust. And over on our instrument panel here, we have our thrust control. So they tells us our thrust in percentage. That's telling us we're at idle at 20%. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. Forward of the thrust is the reverse thrust, and just as the name implies, it'll actually throw the thrust in the opposite direction. Helps us to slow down, and especially on the when we land. To engage the reverse thrust, we simply lift both levers up, and then full reverse thrust to the reverse thrust off all the way forward. Over here is our flaps control. You've probably sat on you've sat on many aircraft. If you've sat near the wing, you'll notice the aircraft as it comes into land, the wing tends to swell as it gets slower. That's the flaps coming out, and it gives it more lift as the aircraft does start to slow down. If you look over there, you'll see there's positions from 0 through to 40, and through flight, we're asking you to choose certain positions. At the moment, it's set at flaps 5. To select the position, simply lift the flap lever up and drop it into the position that I call. You'll see at position 1 and 15, there's these little gates. To go through them, you simply just basically drop it down and up the other side. Okay. So I'll put it into flap 0. Just have a go at selecting flaps 5. So down, that's it. Okay, so we're going to leave it in flaps 5 for our takeoff. And so that's it. Over to the either side of the pedestal is the trim wheels. These do spin during flight. It does actually keep the aircraft balanced in all stages, whether we're on climb, on cruise or descent. There's a fair bit of momentum in them, so just keep hands and legs clear from them, and you won't get hurt. Speed brake over here, that's again similar. If you sat on a near the wing of an aircraft, the aircraft will come in, it'll wheels will touch the ground, you'll see these gates that pop up on the wings. They're the speed brakes, and they also help the aircraft slow down on landing.
Sure.
And to engage them, we simply lift the lever up, pop it into position. It tells us up on the console that the speed brake is armed. And that will automatically deploy when we land. And
automatically?
Automatically,
oh, yeah. Okay.
So once the pressure's on the wheels, it'll automatically deploy. If it doesn't, we can override it.
Okay.
That's something we monitor when we land. For takeoff, of course, we'll make sure that it is stowed away
it's off,
and the annunciator is off.
Sure.
Most complicated device in the aircraft, the park brake.
Okay.
As it is, lights on, the park brake's on. Lights off, park brakes off.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll leave it on while we're just talking. Okay, moving on to the some of the flight instruments.
Yep.
This one over here is called our primary flight display. That square in the middle with the blue and the brown, that's pretty much a picture of what we're looking at outside.
Okay.
The blue represents the sky.
Yeah.
The brown represents the ground.
Okay.
The white line in between represents the horizon.
Sure.
The black dot represents the aircraft's nose.
Okay.
And those black L's either side represents the aircraft's wings.
Okay.
When we go to take off, I'm going to be asking you to raise the nose up to 15 degrees. Now this scale in the middle here is in 2.5 degree increments. So there's 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5. 2 lines above the 10 there is our 15 degrees. By pulling back on the yoke, we will raise that nose up to 15 degrees. When it gets to 15 degrees, we release the yoke a little bit to hold it there. Okay. If we keep pulling back, what's going to happen? It's just going to keep going up.
It's going to keep going up.
Okay, so we just hold it there, and then we'll seal that. It'll settle on the 15 degrees.
Okay.
It'll make sense when we do get flying. Over here is our scale of our turns, so we call it our angle of bank or bank turns.
Oh, yeah.
Now these are in 10 degree increments. So it's 10, there's 20, and there's 30. We look for around about a 25 degree angle of bank. So it's in between that longer line and shorter line. When we make a right turn, what's going to happen, you'll see the triangle move to the left.
Sure.
Okay. Now, unlike a car, you'll turn a car into a bend and you'll hold it there and go around the bend and then straighten it up when you get to the straight. When you put an aircraft into a turn, you'll put it into the bank angle you need. When you get it there, you've got to release a little bit to hold it there.
Yes, of course.
Again, if you keep holding it there, it's just going to keep rolling over. Exactly right.
Yeah.
All right. Again, all that will make more sense when we do start flying. Over here is our speed. The speed in aviation is measured in knots. That's sitting at 45 knots. That will start increasing once the aircraft gets above 45 knots.
Sure.
Over here is our speed scale, and you'll see that it obviously increases above 100. Will go up to the maximum speeds of the aircraft, and will be above the ribbon up the top there. Over here is our altitude that we're currently sitting at. Sitting where we're saying about 30 feet above sea level. That's where we're at the elevation that we're sitting at Adelaide Airport. Over here is the altitude we're going to climb to. That's 3,000 feet. Okay, and the 3,000 feet we've set up here on our mode control panel. So I've talked about that a little bit more as well. Down here is our vertical speed. So that's descending or climbing. And these are in increments of 1,000. So 1,000, 2,000, up to 6,000. Again, makes sense when we start moving. Over here is our compass, a bit like a GPS on a car. And quite simply, that triangle there is us. That white parallel lines just there is the runway we're sitting beside. The white broken lines that extends out from each side of the runway is our imaginary centre line. That's our current heading, which we're saying we're facing 134 degrees. And that's our current heading that we're going to take up when we turn onto the runway, which is going to be 222 degrees, again, which has been set in our mode control panel here. The green broken lines around there are our situation points. That's a 7-mile ring, and that's a 10-mile ring. So we've got a bit of a situational awareness where we've got. The rest of it's just a compass. So I'm sure I don't have to explain what a compass does. Over here is our engine instruments, engine 1, engine 2. As I mentioned before, that's our thrust percentage. It's sitting at 20% idle. When we go to taxi, we'll raise it up to about 30%. Just prior to takeoff, we'll raise it up to about 40%. And again, we'll do that as we go. Over here is our exhaust gas temperature, our fuel flow, our 3 fuel tanks. There's one in the centre, one in each wing. Tells us we've got just under half a tonne in the centre tank and just under 4 tonnes each in the wing tanks.
Sure.
At 2 tonnes an hour, we've got plenty of fuel on board for our flight. Over here is our secondary instruments, so it's our secondary turbines, so our N2, fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temps, oil quantities and vibrations. Any of those figures are irregular or in the red, we know there's an issue. We'll shut down and take the aircraft in for maintenance. But as it is, everything looks good. Over here is our flight management computer. All the information I've put into here has set up all of our instruments for our flight. When we get to the next airport, I can go through that as I set it up for, say for Capt.
Okay.
All right, so I'll explain that a little bit later. Over here is our radio panel. We've got 2 radios, one for the pilot, one for the co-pilot, and that's allow us to talk to ATC, or air traffic control. And down here we also have our nav radios, so that we can tune into devices on the ground to navigate from point A to B. A few different varieties, so we've got the VORs and also the NDBs. The NDB is the old sort of style design in the war, a bit like a homing beacon, and just basically you could just fly direct to it, whereas this one here you can set up on for approaches and for a lot more precision type of navigation.
Okay.
Over here is our transponder. At the moment that's set to standby. That allows the air traffic control to see us, gives them our aircraft ID, position, speed, all that type of thing. While it's in standby, they can't see us. When we get into flight, we can turn that on to transmitting, and they will then see us. All right. Overhead panel. Now this here, lots of buttons and switches. Quite simply, it's sort of divided up into certain areas. So one, we got pretty much our fuel and navigation side of things. We've got our electrical generators. We have our window heat, pitot heat. Pitot is the airspeed readers outside, so we've got the high altitude, they can freeze, so they actually have heaters on them to melt the ice. Engine anti-ice, wing anti-ice, hydraulics, lots of redundancy. There's 2 engine, 2 electric hydraulic pumps on the aircraft, so again lots of redundancy in case any failures. Pneumatic side of things for air engine starting, air conditioning, pressurisation, all that is pretty much operated from this area. Aircraft lighting, engine starts 1 and 2, and our taxi lighting and our landing lights. And the last little one over here is our APU, which is our auxiliary power unit, which we'll can talk about that when we go to shut down.
Okay.
All right, and last of all, mode control panel. Mentioned a little bit. This can be in multiple levels. If we're just hand flying visually, we can just use it to set up things like our auto thrust, speed, and altitude. If we're using it in autopilot mode, that can take control, depending on what level of automation we actually use. We'll get to use a little bit of that again as we do start flying as well. All right, okay, our last little thing is over here is our landing gear lever, and at the moment you can see it's in the down position. We have 3 green saying that the landing gear is in down position and locked. And when we go to take off, we'll then be lifting the landing gear to operate it. You pull the handle out and then just lift it up, and it drops back into position. All right, okay, any questions?
Nope.
Excellent.
No, I don't think so. That's.
I'm sure there'll be plenty as we go around.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there will be.
All right, okay. We're going to start our taxi roll onto the runway. Now, I'll just talk you through it first. So what we'll do is we'll lift this to 30%. Now, I'll just give a small demonstration. I can use that. You can see there's a prediction line. I can bring up to the 30%.
Yes.
The thrust will follow and then settle at 30%.
Okay.
Okay, so I can do that, and then when we go to 40% for takeoff, I can then increase that up to about 40%, and needles will follow and settle at 40%. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just bring it back to idle. See, it's gone. The prediction line's gone back to 2. Needles are following and settling at 20%. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll bring these up to 30%. We'll release the part brake just by pushing forward on. It's a bit crunchy at the moment. It's got to get a new part for it, and
then operate
we steer with the tiller. Just a reminder: forward is to the right, back is to the left. Just little movements. See, there's a yellow line in front of us.
Yep.
You'll have that line passing about there in your console.
Okay.
I've got a similar position here, which is equivalent to my left leg, which should be equivalent to your right leg.
Sure.
What we'll do is we'll just follow that yellow line out, and then you'll see the centre line in the runway.
Yeah.
Once that gets into about your the window, halfway through the window position, just push the tiller all the way forward, and that'll just turn us around and bring us nicely onto the centre line.
Okay.
Ready to give it a go?
Yeah.
All right, 30%.
So.
Beautiful. Part brake off. Yep. And it'll just start to roll. Hand on the tiller. Be ready for it. Just follow that out.
Oh yes, it is sensitive.
Yeah. And remember, the nose wheel is behind us, so it's don't turn just yet. Just wait a little bit. Wait a bit. Get to a little bit more. That's it. Now push all the way forward.
Yes.
And hold it there, and keep holding it there. When the centre line lines up with your console point there, excellent. I'll just quickly throw the brakes on there. That's fine. That's good. Excellent. Okay. All right. Set the part brake.
Sorry.
Set the part brake. So pull that back now.
Set the park brake again.
That's it. It's a bit crunchy, and the thruster idle. So all the way back to the start. That's it. Beautiful. All right. Okay. We're lined up on the centre line. It may feel like we're a little bit obscure, but you should have that you should have that centre line about there, which is equivalent to your right leg. I have it here. We're probably a little bit off to the left of the centre line, but that's okay. When we start our takeoff run, what you need to do is keep your eyes down the end of the runway, and now use the pedals. So feet on the pedals. To keep us on that centre line. You can probably feel me moving the pedals now. That's about as much movement as you're going to probably need.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Once we start, we'll follow straight, and it's just a matter of keeping us on there.
Okay.
Hands will be on the yoke now. So and you don't steer with the yoke while we're on the ground. When I call, I'll call out some speed. You'll hear me call out 80 knots, and then V1 rotate. Once you hear V1 rotate, just pull that back.
Okay.
Use a fair bit of muscle because remember you're an 80-ton aircraft, so it's going to use a bit of pressure, and then get that nose.
Up to 15.
Up to 15. Spot on. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we'll do it step by step. 40%. Yep. Use that prediction line as a. Keep going. That's it. All right. So once the engines are spooled up and settled at 40%, what I'm going to do is get you to engage the auto thrust. So the auto thrust is that button there.
Oh, okay.
Right. So these will advance automatically.
Okay.
I will monitor them, and then your job is just to look down the end of the runway.
Yes.
And keep us on the centre line with the rudder pedals.
Okay.
And be ready to rotate when I call the rotate. All right, give it a go.
So there's two there?
Just the one. Just the one on your side. Yep, there's one for you, one for me.
Okay.
There we go. Auto thrust is engaged. Both hands on the yoke now. And disengage the part brake. It's just come off. There we go.
I did.
Okay. Auto thrust is engaged. There we go. Okay, so keep us on that centre line now. Just small movements. Well done. That's good. Yep. Okay, airspeed is alive. A little bit of right rudder.
Trying.
Push for the right rudder. There we go. Just a little small movements. 80 knots. Coming up to V1 rotate. Just stand by. Okay, V1 rotate. So pull that yoke back. Use a bit of muscle. Fair bit of weight. Good. Excellent. Up to 15. Now hold it. Now push it forward to hold it there. You're up to 20 now. So just push forward, push forward, push forward. Yep, push forward. Get it down to 15. Push forward. Yep. Use some muscle. Get it down there. Down to 15. There we go.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
All right. If you can reach over now, grab the landing gear for us. So out and up. That's it. Hold it at 15. All right, so we're above 1,000 now, so we're going to, yep, so hold it now at 10 degrees there. So use a bit of back pressure if you need to hold it there. That's it. Beautiful. Well done. All right,
wow.
we're on 180 knots, so we're going to put our flaps away. So we'll go to flaps 1 position. So lift that up and drop it into number 1. So lift it up, lift it up. That's it.
Lift it up.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Into 1 position. Beautiful. Hold it at 10 degrees. That's looking good. We're over 200 knots, so we'll go into flap 0 now. So you put the flaps all the way around, so reach over and just grab the lever, lift it up, put it into 0. That's it. Yep. That's the one. Beautiful. Keep it at 10 degrees. So now we can actually lower down to 2.5. We're at 3,000, so push forward. And we're down at 2.5, so we're now flying straight level. Congratulations. Well done. You got us in the air.
Wow.
Right, so what I'll do is I'll just do a quick after takeoff check. So we'll just make sure the landing gear is away. Engine starts are off. Flaps are away. Auto brakes can come off. Okay, after takeoff checklist complete, Captain. All right. So just try to hold us at 3,000 feet now. You can, if we have a look at over here, you can see there's our altitude.
Yes.
That's where we want to be. So just give it a bit of back pressure. Bring it up to about the 2.5 degree line. In fact, we'll just bring it up to 5 just to get us back to 3,000.
Okay.
That's it. It's a fair bit of weight on it, isn't it?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
And the replica of the actual aircraft is pretty identical. So.
Wow.
All right. So
that is just incredible.
Wow. We're going to make a right turn. Now, before we do the turn, I'll just give you a bit of a run through. So, as I said before, when we turn right, you'll see that will move to the left.
Yes.
And we're looking for about a 25-degree angle of bank.
Okay.
You're looking at the horizon now. You can see that it is fairly level with us. And that's pretty much a good of a picture of what we're seeing here, isn't it? So, it's pretty much level. When we go into a turn, you'll see the horizon will obviously go into an angle as well.
Yeah.
You can look at the horizon and the console, and if you're good at angles and be able to judge 25 degrees, you can do that. But you can also cross-check it with your flight instruments here.
Okay.
Just watch our altitude that we don't drop too much. So we'll keep that up to about 5 degrees. So pull back. That's the one.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So once you start your turn, so if you start your turn now to the right, you want to also give a bit of back pressure. What that means is as soon as we go into a turn, the lift component drops on the aircraft.
All right.
And to get that back again, so the weight increases, lift drops. We get that back. We give it a little bit of back pressure so that the wings actually produce a bit more lift. And that will hold us at the right altitude. There we go.
Right.
So you're up to about 7.5 degrees.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more right. So you're about 10 degrees angle of bank there. So 10, there's 20.
Yeah, it feels like it's climbing.
25, there we go. Yeah, it's a, there we go. So you can see we're now climbing back up again, which is good. We don't mind doing that. We want to try and get it back up to 3,000. We'll lower that nose now, so keeping it in the bank, don't straighten up.
All right.
Just keep and then push forward to around about the 7.5.
7.5 again.
Yep, so push forward, push forward, push forward. Get a bit more muscle, that's it. That's it, hold it. There we go. You can see our rate of climb has decreased. That's good. So keep holding that. I'm just going to we're going to turn down to the new heading now. That's good. That's excellent. We just took off from the airport. We turned on to what they call the crosswing leg, and we're just turning on to a downwind leg. And so we've done a sort of a very much a 180-degree turn. That's good. He's doing well, isn't he? All right. We're coming around to the heading, so start turning to the left now to level the wings. So start turning to the left. Yep, that's it. Keep turning left, keep turning left. You want to get those level, and look at the horizon. You think, okay, that looks about level. Now, C wants to try to climb again, so push it forward back down to the 2.5 now to keep it at the same altitude. Well done. Excellent. All right. So we're just over the Gulf now at the moment. There's Adelaide just over there.
Oh, yep, we got you.
Adelaide Airport is put out of harbour just over in the...
yep.
And you can have a look on our map display. There's us here. We're on a downwind leg. That's the airport. We just took off from there. We did a right turn and did another right turn. We're on a downwind. Just watch that altitude. We don't want to lose the... so keep it up. So, yep, that's it. Beautiful.
Up to 10? Okay. Up to 5, rather.
Yep. And what we'll do is just turn a little bit left so we can get onto our command heading there. So we call it the command heading because that's the heading that we have to follow. It's the takes command over everything. The reason that it is if whether we're flying it manually or in autopilot, whatever that's set to is what the aircraft will follow. So that's it. Beautiful. Okay, just turn to the right now. We'll level the wings. See the level the wings. And again, use the horizon as a bit of it. Now push forward. See it wants to climb again. That's it. And down to about 2.5. Awesome. All right. Excellent. How you feeling?
Not in control.
Not in control. You're doing well. You're doing well. All right. Like I said, we're on the downwind leg, so we're going to have a bit of breathing space at the moment. If you just hold that for us. Over here, you'll see on our fuels, centre tank's now empty. Over here, it'll show us our low pressure on the centre tanks. Now, we'll turn them off because we don't need them now. So if you just want to pull those two out, so out and up. Out and up. That's it.
Out and up.
Okay, so fuel pumps are off. Excellent. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a bit of a descent. Okay, so if you want to set 2,000 feet on our altitude, so to the left to 2000. Okay, we're going to also reduce our speed to 200 knots. Beautiful. And to start our descent, what we're going to do is we'll put our wings on the horizon here. So these here, like it looks like we're sitting on the wall with our legs hanging over.
Yeah.
Okay, so just gently push forward a bit and hold it about there. So hold it there. Don't push for any forward anywhere. And you'll see down here there's a rate of descent. We're looking for around about 800. At the moment it's 1,300. So to decrease that, we'll just a little bit of nose up. So just pull back a little bit there. You can see that's now decreasing. We want to look for around about that. That should be fine. 1,000 feet is good. All right. You can see it's slowly descending. We're at 2,200. We're looking for 2,000 feet. So when we get to around about 2,100, we'll gently raise the nose up. And what will happen is the speed will start to decrease. And it'll bring it down to 200 knots. All right, here we go. And gently pull back a little bit, just a little bit. And looking for around just between, say, 2.5 and 5 degrees. That'll should hold us at 2,000. There we go. Airspeed's down at 200 knots, so we'll go flaps 1.
Sorry?
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
So up and down. That's it. Okay, flaps 1 selected. Beautiful. All right, just make sure we don't lose our 2,000. So pull back a little bit to hold it at 2,000. There we go, about 7.5 degrees now. As the aircraft starts to slow down, it starts to get a little bit more sluggish and it needs a little bit more nose up attitude. So
it's
doing well. Okay. It's looking really good. What we'll do is we'll just turn to right a little bit just to get back onto that command heading again. So just drifting over to the left a little bit, but try not to lose our 2,000 at the same time. So it's like patting your head and rubbing your belly, isn't it? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to come around and do a touch and go. We're going to so we're going to land
and take off,
full thrust and take off again. Before we do that, we're going to hear some call out speeds. When we hear 1,000, that's our call to go 30 flaps. When we hear 100, we're going to disconnect the auto thrust. That's the right, so your right thumb button on the thrust lever.
Okay.
You just press that and it will disconnect the auto thrust. So that's at 100 feet. At 50 feet, we're going to pull the thrust all the way back to idle. We're going to look down the end of the runway and we're just going to let it come down gently onto its wheels. Once it's settled, we're going to go full thrust and take off again.
Okay.
I'll do it step by step for you though. All right, in the meantime, speed 180. Excellent. And we'll start a turn on to our final. So we're going to take us onto that new command heading. So remember, so turn to the right, which is that way.
Yeah.
Pull back a little bit so we don't lose that height. So pull back, use a bit of mat. See, it's starting to, the nose starting to drop straight away.
Yeah.
So we've got to try to counteract by that by giving it a bit of back pressure.
Okay.
There we go. Well done. And you see, as it starts to slow down, it needs more and more higher nose attitude.
Yeah, yeah.
But we've got to also, because we're slowing down, we can sort of get closer to the stalling speeds and things. So we've got to be a little bit more cautious. That's good. We're going to go flaps 5 now. Excellent. We're going to go 160 on our speed. 160. Watch our attitude. Just push that forward again. Don't want to get too high too soon. Push forward. Get that down to about 7.5 degrees. Yep. There we go. You can see it sort of getting away from us a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. So I'll put that, set that up there. You can follow that one in. See that little squiggly line that's protruding out from us on our...
Yeah.
Yep, that's again, another prediction line. It shows you where you're going to be in a turn.
Yeah.
So if you, when we start the turn on the final, I'll just show you that. You can see the runway over there. So we're on what they call the base leg.
Yeah.
And we're going to turn on the final one just a second. All right, so if you slowly start to turn to the right now, you'll see that little prediction line will come out.
Yeah.
All right, so use that as a bit of a guide to turning onto zone. That's it. So no further than that. So that there, so you'll turn too soon. So turn to the left a little bit. You'll see that squiggle line will open up a little bit. Open up, and so it's just touching the actual final. That's it. That's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
Okay.
So a little bit more to the right. It's just over the line at the moment.
Yeah.
You want it just on the tangent. All right.
Come on.
We're at top of descent, so we're going to go landing gear out and down. So I'll give you a hand there. So if you want to reach over and grab the landing gear. Excellent. We're going to go 15 flaps. So reach over and grab 15 flaps. 150 speed. And push the nose forward. And we'll start a descent. And keep it turning, so push it forward. I'm looking for around about 800 feet rate of descent, so just a reminder that could be seen there. There we go, there's nice 800.
Yes.
Excellent. And you can see the runway ahead of us.
I can.
Yep. All right, just keep turning onto that command heading though. We just want to be on that heading now. So just keep turning to the right, keep turning to the right, keep turning to the right. Excellent. You want that runway lined up about there. Okay, now turn to the left now. Turn to the left. Pull back a bit. You're on about 2,400 foot rate of descent there. So just slow that down by pulling back, pull back, pull back. There we go. Excellent. All right. Can you see those little coloured lights at the front of the start of the runway?
Yeah.
They're called Pepe Lights.
Okay.
They're precision approach path indicators.
Uh-huh.
If we see all red, we're too low.
Okay.
If they're all white, we're too high. What we need to look for is too white, too red.
Right.
So what's it at the moment?
All I can see is red.
Yep. Okay, so we're a bit low, so just decrease your rate of descent. So just give it a little bit of nose up and stop
1,000.
ready to descend. There's the 1,000 call,
yeah,
so
yeah.
flaps 30, straight away, straight into it. 146 speed.
146.
Yep, now flaps 30 is going to give us a bit of a ballooning, that's it.
Okay.
And we're going to use that a little bit more to our advantage to drag us back up the profile, but just get ready to push forward. And push forward, just very gently, that's it. Get the, push forward now, get that nose down. There we go. Alright, you should see back on profile now. Can you see 2 white, 2 red?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. Now we want that lined up about there, so
Okay,
come
yeah.
over to the right.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a turn to the right. Keep turning to the right, yep. That's it, and I'll tell you when to straighten.
Yeah.
And straighten the wings now. That's perfect. Alright. Okay, so now a little bit to the left, and we're coming in good. That's looking really good, Dylan.
I can see it.
Alright, so we've got 2, 3 white, 1 red. Fairly decent. What you want to try and do is now keep that right in the same position on the screen. If you see it going down, you're going to overshoot. If you see it going up, you're going to undershoot.
Oh, okay.
So if it's staying right like a fly squashed on the windscreen, you're basically directly on profile. You can see you're maintaining 2 red, 2 white.
Yeah.
You got a nice 700 foot rate of descent, which is great. Everything's looking really good. Just come over the right, just a fraction. Right, remember 100, hands on the thrust. 100, disengage, so it's the right thumb.
Yep, yep.
At 50, all the way to 1. Not yet, not yet.
Oh,
we'll wait for
sorry.
the call. There it is, disengage, that's it. Now 50, we want to go to idle. There he is, now
30,
look down the end of the runway.
10.
Alright, full thrust. Full thrust, that full thrust, this one here, all the way forward, that's the one. Beautiful, hold that there, but hands on there. Wait for the call. There's V1 rotate, so pull back, get us back up to that 15 degrees, nose up. A lot goes on, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, okay.
I forgot we were taking off again. Okay.
All right, okay, so that's the call to touch and go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'll just re-engage auto thrust, get our speed under control. 3,000. All right, looking good. We're above 1,000, so drop the nose down to 10 degrees now. That's it, push forward. And you want to do the landing gear for me? Reach over and grab the landing gear. Out and up. Up here, over here.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Out,
Okay.
up, there we go, beautiful.
Yep.
Excellent. And we'll go flaps 1 now. We're above 200 knots. And there's 3,000. Push all the way forward to 2.5 degrees. All the way forward. Get it straight and level again. There we go. Excellent. Right, we're going to go straight into a right turn now. We've got to work a little bit harder now. So,
Oh.
that's right. All right, lift that nose up. Get that nose back into the blue. When it's pointing towards the brown, that means that's where it's going to go.
That's going to crash.
It's going to go into the ground.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, let's get the speed back under control here. Flap 0 and do an after takeoff. That's all good. That's looking good. Everything's coming back into it. Go straight into a right turn, and from everything you learned from the last one, just give it a go. So remember, 25 degrees angle of bank. So we want to, yep, yeah, spot on. You're giving it back pressure too, which is good. Get that angle of bank up to 25, so keep turning to the right. So you're on about 20 now, 20 degrees. And have a look at the console on the horizon. I'm going to say if you're good at visual angles,
Yeah, yeah.
you can use that as a sort of a bit of a guide as well.
Okay.
And if the horizon's going through the same point on your console, you know you're doing a nice level turn.
Yes.
If you see again, very much like the threshold, if you see it going down,
Yeah.
it means you're climbing. If you see it going up, it means you're descending.
Sure.
So as you can see now,
Yeah.
so keep turning to the right. We want to go all the way onto that command heading.
Okay.
Get you prepared for Kai attack.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll get you to do a nice tight right turn onto that command heading, but don't go any greater than 25 degrees, and get that nose down because you're up to nearly 4,000 feet now. So there we go. That's good. Keep that bank on. You're at about 10 degrees now, so if you turn more to the right and push that nose forward, just so we don't climb. Like I said, it's like patting your head and rubbing your belly.
It is a bit, yeah.
You remember, you're in a three-dimensional space now.
Yeah.
Push the nose forward up to about 4.5 now. There we go. Keep coming around to the right. Watch your nose. Okay, lift that nose up. Don't be afraid to sort of use a fair bit of pressure on it. So
okay.
That's looking good. Excellent. All right. Once you straighten up, just keep that nose up. Turn to the left, will straighten up. So turn to the left, that's it. Straighten the nose by pulling it up a little bit, about 2.5 degrees. That's good, that's good, that's excellent. What I'll do is I'll just throw it on autopilot for a second. So let go of the wheel for a sec. There we go. So we're just on autopilot, just so I can have a quick talk to you.
Okay.
This next one we're going to do is going to be a full stop landing. So we're going to use all of our braking power to help us bring to a stop.
Yep.
Starting with the auto brakes here, as the name implies, if you want to set auto brake number 2 for me, so turn it to the right, it will apply our brakes as soon as the pressure's on the wheels. Auto brakes kicks in and brings us to a nice stop.
Okay.
The value depends on the type of runway that we're landing on. Adelaide's a fairly long, dry, sealed runway, so a 2 is a fairly adequate type of braking power. If it was wet, if it was shorter, we consider a higher setting. It does, of course, wear the brakes out, so we must choose the appropriate setting.
Sure.
We're also going to use the speed brake this time. Now I'll just demonstrate with this one. To arm it, we simply lift it up, drop it into position, tells us up there that the speed brake is armed. That's now armed and ready.
Okay.
This one we will use the reverse thrust when we land, so it'll be very similar to what we had before. 100 will disengage.
Yep.
At 50 feet, back to idle. Once the aircraft comes down and settles, reach forward, both reverse thrust, all right? In that exact order. And what we're going to do now is we're going to set 2,000 as our altitude. So if you want to set 2,000 for me. And we're also going to set 200 as our speed. And I'll just show you the autopilot will obviously help us bring that down. If we press VS here, which is vertical speed, all right, that's it. And I'll just adjust the speed and we'll descend at roughly around about 1,000 foot rate of descent. You can see the autopilot is now actually flying the aircraft for us. And it's holding our heading. It's descending us from 3,000 to 2,000 at the rate of 1,000 feet a minute, and it's going to reduce our speed to 200 knots.
Right. Okay.
I'll get you to take over again when we get down there as well.
Okay.
You can see how it can actually lighten the pilot's load. Okay. So we'll get a bit of a practice of disengaging the autopilot. On your left thumb, there's a button. That will disengage the autopilot.
Okay.
I'm going to get you to do that now, and then you can just bring us down to 2,000. There we go. You'll hear that. That's that autopilot has been disengaged.
Gotcha.
And it's now bringing us down to the and now you are bringing us down to the
Sure.
2,000. All right. Here comes 2,000. So around about 2,100, start gently pulling up. There we go. Up to around about 5 degrees. And that'll hold it there. Beautifully done. Speed starts to decrease. We're going to go flaps 1 straight away.
Okay, flaps 1.
Flaps 1. Excellent. All right. We'll start our turn on to final. There we go. Start our turn to the right.
Oh, yes.
Just watch your altitude. You don't gain
Go back
too
up
much.
again. Yeah.
Yep. So to counteract that, just push forward to counteract it.
Yep.
So go for around about, maybe your 6 degrees. Just there. Where you are there is perfect. Increase your bank turn though, so you're on 10 degrees at the moment, so start turning, keep turning to the right a bit more. You want to bank a little bit more. That's it, hold it there. And what we'll do is we'll use that to turn us directly on the final. So we're just turning through base leg now. It's the old South Power Reservoir there.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Just decrease the turn a little bit to around about 10 degrees. So a little bit, turn a little bit to the left, that's it. That's it, hold that there. That's perfect, yep. Just doing a slow turn onto final now. Just a little bit more to the right. You can see it's just overshooting at the moment. Go around the fluffy cloud. Alright, we're going to go 180 speed. 180. And we're going to set flaps 5. That's good. A little bit more to the right, just fraction. That's it, hold that. Just watch your altitude, push it forward, just get down to around about 5 degrees. Push forward, yep, there we go. That's it, but a little bit more to the left now. Hold that. That's looking good. Okay, we're going to go 160 speed. Just a little bit more to the right as well, just to keep us on that. Just turn to the right, turn to the right, turn to the right, yep. Turn to the right a bit more, that's it, hold that, just there. Alright, we can probably see the runway over there in the distance, the Hope Valley Reservoir right there. Keep turning to the right. Keep it going, to the right, keep turning to the right, yep.
What's the green there?
The green, that's a prediction line on your descent.
Okay.
So we want to, because you can see we're at 2,000
Yes.
set, but we're at the altitude we've got 3,000. So it's saying where you'll be at the 2,000 point.
Okay.
All right, and straighten up there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, don't descend anymore. We'll just hold that now. Just hold that there. So that's good. So level the wings. Yep. Try to bring us on to that heading now.
Yeah.
So to do that, just say turn left towards it.
Oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah.
So it can get very, very confusing sometimes. A bit more to the left. Get us onto that command heading. So turn that way. So yep. Keep it coming over. Keep it coming over. That's it. Now level those wings now. Okay. All right, okay, so we're going to do top descent now, so landing gear out and down. We're going to go 15 flaps, 150 speed. Excellent, we're going to put our landing lights on, 1, 2, 3 and 4, all the way down. Excellent, let's put both engines on continuous. All right, so approach, landing, engine start, speed brakes armed, landing gears down, flaps green, 3 greens. Okay, don't start your descent just yet. We're just a bit early. What's the red lights? What's the light saying on the threshold? Down there on the runway?
All I can see is red at the moment.
I can see probably 3 red, 1 white.
Is it? Okay.
So come over to the right a little bit. All red now, so we'll just slow down our rate of descent. There's 1,000.
1,000.
30. 142 on our speed.
142.
142. Firm. All right, we'll use 30 to help us bring us back on the profile. That's good. Get ready to push forward. Just straighten the...
Why am I climbing?
Yep, now push forward, push forward. There we go. It's getting us... We're using flaps to bring us onto profile. Push forward. That's it. Beautiful. All right, okay. So now you've got the lights, the Pepe Lights, all white, so we're a little bit high, so you can come down a little bit more to bring us down. There we go. Keep us lined up there. That's looking good. All right, just a reminder, this is a full stop. So 100, disengage, 50 to idle.
Okay.
Once we're on the ground, full reverse thrust.
Okay.
All right.
1,000.
That's all right. That's just
1,000.
come over to the left just a little bit.
Yep.
That's it. Level the wings. Just level them. So turn to the right level. There we go. Keep turning to the right. It's looking good.
500.
Okay, put your right hand on the thrust lever. Be ready for the call, but not until we hear 100. There it is. Disengage.
Yep.
Disengage.
50.
There it is. 50 to idle. That's
30.
it. Hold that. Hold that.
20.
Hold it. Let it come down.
10.
Beautiful. Full reverse thrust. Well done. That was a creamer landing, that one. All right. When I call you 60 knots, just release the reverse thrust. So at 60 knots. And 60 knots, release. That's it. Feet up on the brakes.
Yep. Yep.
And 3, 2, 1, and bring us to a nice stop. Look at that. Well done. That was a creamer, that one. Like a boss. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go throw us over to Capt now.
Okay.
What I'll do is while I'm doing that, if you can set the auto brakes up, so turn that to the left to the RTO position.
RTO, yeah.
Put our flaps in position 5. Let's put the speed brake away, and I'll be back.
The speed brakes.
We're at Adelaide at the moment. We're going to shoot over now to Capt. Actually, we're at the new Hong Kong International, and then fly over to Capt. So.
Yeah, still in Adelaide.
All right.
The first time I forgot we were going to take off again. I was all ready for the reverse thrust.
for nice. You thought you were going to have a rest, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no rest here.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay. All right. So we're at the new Hong Kong International. Capt's just over the other side of the mountains.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I'll give you a brief on that in a minute. What I'll do is I'll program this in. So what we can do is choose where our current position is on the globe, so our northeast coordinates. I can grab them, put them into the inertial reference system, which is the navigation computer of the aircraft. So it recognises where we are. We put it in. And now we can say that our routers were originating from VHHH. That's the ICAO's international code for the airport, and we're on runway 07 right at the moment. Facing that, you can see our compass headings on 070 there, or 073, and then we're going to fly over to the Capt, which the ICAO code for that is VHHX. I'm going to pop that in there, and with that we're going to land on runway 13. So with that information in there, I can put in our flight, FE556, our flight number. We can activate that, and you'll see that'll set up our flight computer there. Now we'll put some performance information in of the aircraft. So the aircraft with a class is 0 fuel weight, which is can be sort of pretty self-explanatory. It's the aircraft with payload with no fuel. It's 52.4 tonnes. We carry 2 tonnes of reserve, which is the mandatory reserve fuel that they carry. It's just 45 minutes of fixed fuel plus 15% of variable, so on the flight required. Cost index is quite an interesting one. It's devised by the accountants of the company, and it's how the aircraft performance will be based on how much they want to spend on it.
Yeah.
We're going to climb to 2,000 feet on this leg, so we can put our cruise altitude there, and the transition altitude here, that's the the position. So it's set at 9,000 in Hong Kong, it's 10,000 in Australia, and that's the part where it actually changes from an area pressure to a standard pressure. So once you start getting into flight levels, all aircraft are talking the same language then, so they can have very small separation, which is scary.
I bet. Yeah.
N1 limits, that's basically the engine performance, so we can say it's a nice 27 degrees outside. We're going to reduce our thrust from our takeoff to climb thrust at 1,000. That's that point where we lower the nose from 15 down to 10 degrees.
Yeah.
We're going to use takeoff and climb power settings based on the standards. Takeoff, we're going to be taking off with flaps 5, so we can put that in there. That gives us a center gravity position of 5.3. I can set that on our trim here, so just set 5.3. With all that information entered into the flight management computer, it can set up my speeds. A V1 speed of 128 knots. That's pretty much the speed I've got to. If I suffer an engine failure or anything like that, I can pull back the thrust. It'll automatically throw in our rejected takeoff brakes, which is just basically locks them up.
Okay.
Wrecks them and everything, but it brings the aircraft to a nice safe
everything stops
before the end of the runway. Anything above 128 knots, we go to VR, so
we'll be
rotation
flying.
speed, and then V2 is our committed speed. Once we get that, we've got to get in the air, fix it up. All right, so that's the that side of it. What I could also put in is those 7 and 10 mile fixed rings, so I can put that in at the Capt, so VHHX. I can put that in. Sets up a 7 mile, 10 mile. You can just see it off the screen there. If I just scroll in a little bit further, you can see there's our flight path that we're going to be taking right now. And so we're here on runway 07. We're going to climb to 2,000 and then start our approach straight into Capt.
Okay.
All right, so things are going to happen a little bit quicker now. But we've had a bit of practice. We've had a bit of a try. So what we'll do now is we'll just give it a go.
Okay.
So I'll set the auto thrust on to there. If you're going to set our heading up to 073 for me there.
073.
073. A firm. All right. So at this leg we're going to be a bit slower, a bit lower, and so we're going to say only climbing to 2,000. We're going to leave flap 5 in for this
okay,
one.
okay.
And by the time we get to, say, top of climb, which is 2,000, we're pretty much going to be almost directly onto the approach into Capt. Takeoff will be very similar to what we did in Adelaide, so it'll be 40%. Let it spool up, then engage the auto thrust.
Yep.
That'll advance automatically.
Okay.
Just keep your eyes down the end of the runway. Use our pedals to keep us in the on the runway. I'll call out the speeds. When you hear me call V1 rotate, pull back, get it up to 15 degrees. Hold it at 15 until about 1,000 feet, and then we'll lower it nose to 10 degrees to climb out to 2,000. In the meantime, we'll also do the landing gear, but I'll call that for you.
Okay.
All right, let's give it a go. All right, 40%. Oops, can bring it back down a bit. There we go. Hold it at 40.
Where am I reading?
There we go. Just
Yes,
here.
there. Okay.
That's fine. Now we can engage auto thrust. So
Yes.
eyes down the runway now. Yep, that's right. Let's give you a hand. There we go. There we go. Okay, both hands on the yoke.
Yep.
All right. Eyes down the end of the runway. Remember, steer with the pedals, not the yoke.
Yeah. Whoops, a bit.
I can tell you've been driving a car most of your life.
Yeah.
Okay, airspeed's alive. There's 80 knots.
Oh, come on.
That's good. It's holding well. And V1 rotate. So use a bit of muscle there. Get it up to 15 degrees. Awesome. Hold it at 15. Let's get rid of that flight director. Push forward to keep it down at 15. And coming out to 1,000 feet, get it down to 10. And what we'll do also do the landing gear as well. So reach over. Beautiful, well done. Okay, get that nose down to 10 degrees. Push forward, push forward. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Hold it at 10. Right, comes 2,000. Get ready to go down to 2.5. Push forward now. All the way forward. You can hear it starting to wind back now. Excellent. All right. That's good. And just set up that 1.1.9, 1.9. As I said, we're pretty much on the directly on the approach. So we're going to set the heading to 088. So if you can do that for me, and turn onto that heading straight away. So 088. So turn to the right to intercept that. And you can see there's a mountain over in the, that's with the beige top. That's actually sort of where we're going to be, roughly a bit of a landmark we'd aim towards. The runway itself is right in the middle of that gulf there.
Oh, okay.
We'll see the cityscape start to come in a second. And we're going to actually follow it over the top of the cityscape. We'll see some strobe lights and things on top of the buildings. We're going to follow that in, and once we get around, or closer and around the corner, we'll see the runway, the Pepe Lights. We'll see Pepe Lights as well, so our reds and whites and all that type of things, like we did in Adelaide. And we'll do a touch and go. Okay?
Touch and go.
Yep, so like we did before, we'll land, we'll go full thrust and take off again. All right, so we'll just fly this heading. In the meantime, we'll go
Terrain.
flat to speed 160.
Sorry?
160.
160.
That's just our terrain radar saying there's a mountain underneath us, but we're okay. We can see it. We're clear. All right, that's looking good. So come over to the right just a little bit. We'll just move that. And we'll start our descent. So landing gear out and down. Oops, the other way.
Oh, it wasn't down.
Beautiful. We'll go 15 flaps. 150 on our speed. Gently start lowering the nose, and we'll look for around about a 800 foot rate of descent. That's it, so not much more than that. That's good. That's perfect. All right. Can you see some strobe lights on top of the buildings by any chance?
Nope.
Sort of starting at the edge over here. No, not yet. All right,
No.
we'll do is go 30 flaps. So 30 flaps, 146 on our speed. We'll just let that balloon us up a little bit. Can you see strobes yet?
Nope.
Okay, push forward, push forward. Keep pushing forward. There we go. See the strobes? Should be lined up about there.
I can't see where I'm going. Oh!
Got him?
Oh my goodness
Got him
me.
sighted?
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
Can you see the runway?
You got to be joking.
Yeah. Exactly. All right.
You've
So
got to be joking.
just a reminder, we're doing a touch and go. So we're going to come in, we're going to land on that. We're going to go full thrust and then take off again. Okay, so I'll point out some things. So you can see the strobe lights that we're following. You can see some other high intensity lighting sort of curving around to meet the runway. That's a bit of like a centre line that we follow. Can you see them sort of following around?
Oh, no, not really.
There's a checkerboard on the hill. Can you see that?
1,000.
Can you see the checkerboard?
Nope.
It's almost directly ahead of us. Okay, so keep it coming down.
Oh, yes, I can see
Yep.
it. Oh, I'm looking over
Yep.
there.
Okay, so start
Yeah,
following
yeah.
those lights around. So start turning to the right. What's the Pepe Lights say
Ah.
on the runway? All white. Can you see that? Just right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, keep it coming down. Keep it coming down. So it's basically telling us we're a bit high.
Okay.
So keep turning. Follow those white lines around. So
Yeah, yeah.
keep turning around. Okay, right.
Yeah.
More right turn. More right turn. More right turn. I'll tell you when to straight. Keep it right turn. You don't want to overshoot it. Just wave to the people in the buildings. They're watching TV. What's on TV today? Yeah. So we overshot a little bit. So we'll just come back
Yeah,
over.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Here we go. Coming in. Coming in. Hands on the thrust.
100.
There it is. 100. Disengage. Disengage. That's
50.
it. That's it. Keep it going. Idle. Idle.
30.
Let it come down. Let it come down.
20. 10.
All right. Beautiful. Bit of a hard one, but push
Oh,
forward.
push
Full
forward.
thrust. That's it. Beautiful. Okay. There we go. Straight in the air again. Get that up to 15 degrees. Okay, hold it at 15.
Wow. Well, that was quite a ride.
Did well, did well. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to engage the autopilot.
Yeah.
Okay, just let go of the wheels for a sec. There we go. I'll just decrease that down to around about 2,000 foot rate of descent. Set our speed 230 there. So now that's going to climb us up to 3,000 and hopefully capture that. So we'll just make sure that does. In the meantime, put flaps away to flaps 1. Okay, should catch us 3,000. Excellent. Is flap 0. All right. Yeah, so just down, then up the other side.
No. Oh. Oh, yes.
That's it.
Yep, got it.
Yeah,
It's a
so
notch.
It's a bit of a sort of a down.
It's a
then
down
up.
and
Yeah,
up. And
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so we're in autopilot now. If you want to set our heading to the right to 270, right 270. That's it. Now, I always mention the direction because if you try to turn it left, the aircraft will follow to the left. And if we're in mountainous terrain, it makes it very, very dangerous. All right, I'm just going to go change some settings.
Okay. I think I'll stick to playing guitar.
Okay, back. We're going to do that same thing this time, but we're not going to be able to see a thing.
What?
All right. To your left, there's two dials on your console. Just turn them all the way to the left. So they're just the lights, which dim the cockpit. That's it, both of them. All right, as you can see, we cannot see a thing. Pressing that button there, if you press that one on yours, I'll get that on mine. That'll set up the... Oh, that's a little bit... there we go. There we go. So this is a terrain radar, so we can actually see the mountains we're flying in between. And what we're actually going to use, so we'll start with, can you lower our speed to 200 knots, so 200 knots. We're going to use what we call a instrument approach, and a normal instrument approach in something like Adelaide, you can actually bring you right down the vertical and horizontal path onto the threshold. Capt, because as you've seen, it's basically it'll bring us between the mountains.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that point where we saw the checkerboard and all the lights, all the strobes and all that.
Yeah.
And at that point, we can make a decision whether we can see the runway or not. If we can't see the runway, we'll go around and go somewhere else and land.
Okay.
If we can continue our approach. We'll get the MDA, or the minimum descent, at 640 feet. If we can't see it by 640 feet, we hightail out of there using a missed approach method. But for this, we'll fly it down. Remember how we disengaged the autopilot before on that on that left button?
Yeah.
Don't do it right now.
No.
But we'll do that once we see the checkerboard and we get the decision.
Okay.
We'll get the decision annunciation.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is we're going to use our autopilot to the next level, and that's going to bring us down the glide slope and the localizer.
Okay.
All right. All we got to do is just control the energy. So the power, flaps, landing gear, all that type of thing.
Okay.
And we just monitor it all the way to the point where we see that checkerboard. We're happy that we can take over. You can disengage the autopilot and then hand fly it like you did. Like you did before.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, got a bit better idea. I couldn't see the runway. I'm looking here for the runway.
Yeah, you're looking in front of you. Exactly.
And it's over there.
Yep. Exactly right.
Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to slow down a little bit. So 180, we're going to go flaps 1.
0, flaps 1.
Yep. Okay, so just also point out on the here, you'll see these coloured in diamonds.
Yep.
That's the glide slope. Over this here, that's the localizer. So that gives us our horizontal guidance. Horizontal guidance. Now will give us our vertical guidance.
Okay.
At the moment it was solid because it could see the signal from over there. All right, we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
What we'll do is we'll turn our heading onto 360. So right 360. Excellent. Okay, so that's now turning us right. When it sees a signal, these will go solid. Okay.
Okay.
And that will, once we start getting closer to the localizer, that will start coming into towards the middle. That's the localizer center point right there. When we see the glide slope, that'll go solid and start coming down to that point.
There. Okay.
When it gets to that point, you'll see it should start the descent.
Okay.
So we're just going to monitor that, make sure it does. All right. In the meantime, we're going to go flaps 5. We're on our base leg now, and 160 speed. Excellent. I'm just going to adjust this just a little bit. Okay. And now what we're also going to do is engage our approach. So if you want to hit the approach button, that's it. That's beautiful. That's now engaged. So we've just got to monitor it. It should pick up the localizer and turn us onto the approach.
Mm-hmm.
And it should see us see the glide slope. There we go. So there's the localizers just
just activating. Yeah.
started coming in.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's starting to see the signal. There's we've got a fair bit of turbulence, and we've got thunderstorms and all sorts of things happening out there. So
I thought I saw some flashes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So probably hear a bit of thunder around us. We're in the worst of the conditions. Nothing but the best for you.
Nice to know.
Just done a couple of quick adjustments here. All right. You can see that
Yeah.
it's currently
Trying to
following
line it
that
up.
heading.
Uh-huh.
As soon as that comes in solid, we know it's seen the localizer, and it
Okay.
should start our turn onto it. So we'll just keep monitoring that. There it goes. It's seeing the glide slope now,
Yeah, that's
but it's
solid.
obviously we're still underneath it,
Yeah.
so we're not quite on the glide slope yet.
Terrain.
That's right. It's a bit of a mountain under us, but we're okay. We're above the lower safe altitude. Okay. Here it goes. It's coming in now. There it goes. It's starting its turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Any second now, that should come in solid. There we go. There it goes. There
Yeah,
it comes
yeah.
in. All right.
Okay.
So we can say localizer has been captured. So we can confirm that. We'll do is we'll set our heading back up just in case we have to break the autopilot and fly manually. Okay, so that's good. So it's lining up with the localizer now.
Yep.
The glide slope's coming down. So what's happening is the glide slope's like this and we're flying towards it
Sure.
like this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as soon as we meet it, it'll
Yeah.
start descending. And what we'll do is as soon as it gets there, we'll do it. Do it to now 150 speed. 150. And we'll go 15 flaps. And you'll see it will start our descent.
Mm-hmm.
There it goes.
There we go. Yeah.
So it's nicely capturing it. And as you can see, we can't see anything beside us, but look at the terrain radar.
Just a few little lights.
at
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
that's
all
all
that.
the mountains. That's
Okay.
where we're flying between. So
Okay.
would you want to do this in this type of weather conditions?
Manually?
Visually,
No.
it's just absolutely
Wow.
suicidal. So
Yeah, yeah.
you can see why it's such a dangerous approach. But that's bringing us down nicely. We're happy with that. We'll listen out to the calls at around about 1,000. We'll do it earlier. We'll do the flaps 30, but while that's coming down, we'll set ourselves up for our full stop.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to use auto brakes max. It's a wet, short runway, so we're going to turn to the right.
Now?
Yep, so you set that to max. We're also going to arm our speed brake, so have a go, so pull it up. That's it. Drop it in position.
Yep.
Yeah, just there we go. So just make sure, and just got to make sure that the flaps aren't extended. There we go, perfect. So that's all armed. Landing lights are on, engines are on continuous. Everything's looking good. The glide slope's captured, the localizer's captured, our speed's under control. We can do a quick pre-landing. So engine starts, speed brakes armed, landing gears down, flaps. All right, everything's looking good. Oh, okay, welcome. Look and see. You can see the strobes now.
Yeah, I can see now. Yeah.
You can see how much it's sort of throwing us around as well. So the turbulence.
The storm. Yeah.
But we cannot see the runway.
No.
So we cannot
Fireworks over here.
Yep, we got some fireworks going on as well. Now, like I said, our MDA or minimum descent altitude is 640 feet.
Okay.
We're currently
yeah.
1,400.
1,400. Yeah.
So we're still not at the minimums. But we've got the centerline strobes. We've got our high intensity lighting.
Yes.
We still cannot see the runway. We still cannot see the checkerboard.
No.
So go flaps 30 now. And we'll go 142.
1,000.
There we go, beautiful. So still coming down good. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Can we see the runway? Oh, I can just.
No.
Can you start seeing the Pepe Lights? So 800 feet. Okay, so I've got the Pepe Lights sighted. Have you got them sighted? The horizontal row of white and red.
No.
Have you got the checkerboard sighted?
Oh, yeah, checkerboard got.
All right,
Yeah.
take over. Take over. Take over.
So,
Yep,
off.
disengage. Yep, go for it. It's all yours.
Oh,
Fly it, push it down, push it forward, start your turn to the right, follow those lights around, that's it. So you are now visual and you are now in control. Just watch your rate of descent, you don't want to extend. Just a reminder, this is a full stop landing, so we will be using reverse thrust.
okay.
Okay, hands on the thrust levers, be ready for the call. Bloody beautiful approach. Be ready for it.
100.
Okay, there it is. Disengage. Disengage.
Yep.
Straighten it out. Keep the nose down. Keep the nose down. Don't let it balloon up.
50.
There we go. 50 all the way to idle.
Sorry?
All the way to idle.
Yeah.
30. 20. 10.
Beautiful. Full reverse thrust. Hands off the yoke.
Whoa.
Hands off the yoke. Hands off the yoke.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Pedals.
I'm driving it.
Yeah, exactly. It's all right. Like I say, it's a normal reaction to someone that's been driving all their life. All right, reverse thrust off. Well done.
Whoa. It's hard to get out of that, isn't it?
Yep, it is.
Wow.
When you've got everything thrown at you all at once,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I say, it's a huge workload.
Yeah.
All right, okay, well, throw us over to St. Martin's now.
Wow.
You did that one really well. Do the similar thing. Set flaps. Actually, flaps 10 on this one now,
Okay.
and speed break away. I'll go put us on St.
Okay,
Martin's.
Whew.
Still well, isn't he?
Not bad. It's a bit dark with that one.
It is, yeah. That one's no visuals whatsoever on that one.
Is this Hong Kong?
It's
This is
the old Hong Kong. Yeah.
Head over to St. Martin's now. St. Martin's, here we go.
Yes, I've seen this a few times.
Yeah, you've been there a few times.
No, I haven't been there, but seen it on.
Yeah.
Oh,
One I certainly like, so it's all right. The weather will clean up automatically there. It's a miracle. Okay. Now, I'll do a similar thing here. I'll quickly set us up for St. Martin's. So the ICAO codes, TNCM. There we're going to take off from runway 10 and we're going to land on runway 10.
that's a bit windy out there.
Yeah, you can see the wind sock blowing away there. It's blowing down the runway, so we know 10 is the active runway. And 52.4 tonnes is what we want for that one. It's about 2 tonnes reserve. Cost index of 50. We're going to cruise at 3,000 this one. If you can set, oh, it's already set. 3,000. Transition altitude in St. Martin's is 5,000. Remember, it was 9 in Hong Kong and 10,000 in Australia. It's a nice warm 2 to 27 degrees. We're going to do thrust reduction at 1,000. Takeoff with flaps 10. Centre of gravity is 5.3. Just readjust that. Get that back down. All right. V1 speed's 126 knots, rotations at 127, and our committal speed's 139. If you want to set auto brakes up to rejected takeoff for me there.
Off?
To RTO, yep. So that's the one. All right, we can probably raise our cabin lights again. So the big one you can turn just down to your left. The big one you can turn all the way to the clockwise, and the little one will turn up to around about 12 o'clock position. There we go. All right. Speed auto thrust will set to 146 for takeoff. Everything's set. All right, so bring us on to the threshold. So we're pretty much parallel with it. So
In the corner, yeah,
follow the yellow line around, and when you
Sure.
get to the runway, it'll be sort of pretty much a full right, full left hand, full down with the left
yes,
hand.
Yes.
To bring us to round the left. Right, so try that, 30% here.
Oh.
Bring that up to 30, that's it, a little bit, bring it back a little bit there, that's it, hold it there. Part brake off, push forward on the part brake. That's it, should start our roll. Yep.
Is that off? Yep.
Should start our roll forward, yep. There we go. There we go. All right. So just follow that around. Turn the yellow pilots off. Landing lights continue. Yeah, just small movements. Just small. And then bring it slowly, a little bit left hand, or a little bit down, and then all the way. Hold it all the way down. Hold it all the way down. All the way down. That's it. Hold it. And don't let it go. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. Keep holding it down. Keep holding it down. Yep. Keep holding it down. Keep holding it down. I'll keep holding it all the way down.
Yep. We've got the runway now.
Yep. All right. We don't want to lose too much of the runway because we need every bit of it we can. You can see there's a big mountain at the end.
Yep.
All right. Okay. That's it. I'll just give it a bit of a stop there. Excellent. Beautiful. We'll just set that for us. All right. Okay. So this one here is what we call short field takeoff. As you can say, it is a short runway. We've got a big mountain at the end there. We've got to get over it.
Yep.
We're going to set the, we're taking off at flaps 10.
Yeah.
We're going to let the thrust go to full thrust. We're going to keep our feet on the brakes.
Yes.
Once we're at full thrust, we're going to release all the brakes.
Oh, I see.
And it's almost like slingshot us down the runway.
Okay.
All right. So let's give it a go.
And what do we climb to?
And then we're going to be climbing to 3,000, and we're going to lift that nose to 15 degrees straight away.
15.
And we're going to hold it at 15 until we get to 3,000 feet.
All right.
All right. So this one's a little bit different.
Okay.
Okay. So
feet on the brakes.
Yep. So if you can engage, so 40% first. Sorry, up to 40%. Just let them. Just make sure the engines are going to spool up. Yep. All right. Now you can engage the thrust.
Engage.
Yep. That's it. Thrust is engaged. Let go of them. Okay. Part brake off. All right, and release the brakes, and then just steer with the, don't, hands off the yoke. Steer with the pedals, steer with the pedals.
Oh, yeah, steer with the pedals.
Yep. Keep us on that centre line. Airspeed's alive.
Come on.
80 knots. When I call V1, get it straight up to 15 degrees and hold it at 15 to 3,000 feet. And V1, rotate, get it up. Yep, V1,
okay.
Rotate, yep. Go for it. 15 degrees. Get it up there. Hold it at 15. That's it. Just hold it there all the way. I'll do landing gear for us. You fly the aircraft. Drop it down to 15. Nose a bit high. Just above 20 there. You'll hear the terrain warnings and everything going off. We're just going to ignore them. We know that we're above it. The flight director.
Pull up.
Don't worry about that. We've
Pull up.
I can confirm we are clear. Okay, you can lower the nose down now. Push the nose forward. Push nose forward, all the way forward. There we go. We go flap 5 now. That's it. We'll stay at 5,000, that's alright. Excellent. Alright, we're going to make our turn straight on to 185. So if you want to start turning at the same time there, it's going to get the VOR for St. Martin's. Thought it was 116.9. And CM doing well there. Beautiful. One, 1, 3. Okay. How you going there, alright?
Yeah.
Haven't felt any ground bumps yet, which is good. Alright, okay, so I just had to get the VOR for St. Martin's. You'll see there's a little green arrow that's just popped up on your screen.
Nope.
On the
Oh,
map
that
display.
one there, yeah.
Yeah, that's the VOR. That's actually a nav aid on the ground at St. Martin's, which we can use to navigate towards it.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is actually just follow that in. That's actually pointing, it's an arrow pointing towards where the aid is. So just using your heading and your turning and all that, everything you've learned so far, just turn yourself towards that. What's your altitude though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's right, we'll go down to 4,000, that's fine. So turn your heading onto the VOR, so turn it to the right. That's it.
Oh, I see.
Yep, turn it all the way onto the green arrow.
All the way onto the green arrow.
And then follow that in. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so turn the aircraft itself. So what you're doing now is you're using one of the nav aids to actually navigate back towards the airport. The way it is at the moment, it's acting like a bit of a homing sort of beacon.
Bank angle.
Just careful of that bank angle. Remember what we want, about 25 degrees. So it's about 351. All right, 351. Okay, looking good. So let's turn that onto there a bit. 355. Excellent. Well done. Excellent.
Okay.
So you can see where the airport is on the... where's my pointer gone? There it is. You can see where the airport is on the map display. If you actually look over the window, you can see the airport straight ahead of us on the ground. There's that big mountain that we had to scale. So we've scaled that one. And we're sort of flying towards it. Now what's going to happen, if we keep on that command heading, as we overfly the aid, or the nav aid, which is on the ground, the arrow will swing around and point the opposite direction. So it's at the moment we're flying to it.
Yeah.
As we go over it and pass by it, we're going to be flying away from it. So it's going to be pointing back towards the aid. All right. So all we're using it as a bit of a homing beacon. So come over to the right. Just keep following it over to the right.
Following that green.
Yeah. So you remember you always follow the command heading.
Okay.
That's right. We'll slowly come. That's it. Well done. As we fly out over it, we're going to then turn onto an outbound heading of 330. Now I'm going to set that up here, and I'm going to change our mode a little bit. So as it swings over,
Am I following the green still?
Nope, no, it's going
No.
to swing around now,
Oh,
so
right.
you can see that because we're
Yeah.
about to overfly the aid. Just watch our altitude though, that we don't lose that.
Yeah.
There we go, so it's flying over the aid now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to switch this over to this mode here, and we're going to fly outbound now. So it's turn to the left, we're going to fly outbound on 330.
Okay.
So what we're kind of using is a bit of a, they call it a radial, and so that we know that we're flying out directly from an aid at a particular bearing, we use the VOR. Now that white arrow is our VOR course that we've set for 330.
Okay. Yeah.
The pink line on the left there is our course deviation. All right. The green arrow is actually where the physical aid is.
Okay.
So what it's saying there is we're actually flying a little bit to the right of that radial. To get back on that radial, what I'll do is I'll set that heading to 30 degrees on that side. So if you turn onto that heading now, so if you can imagine the radial's over here, we're over here, we're flying back towards it, and we're going to intercept it.
Okay.
Okay, so roll out on that heading when we get to it, 300. Okay, roll it out now, wings level, that's it. So turn to the right to wings level, and hold that. So hold that thing. You see the course deviation indicator starting to move now.
Yes.
When it gets to that first circle, we're going to turn to the right onto that. Okay, start turning to the right.
Yeah, I got you.
And we're now turning on to the radial. So what we've done is we've come in like that.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. And you can see what's happened is, see the green one, which is the actual aid, has now lined up as well. So everything's nicely aligned.
Behind us.
Okay, so we're flying out on 330 radial. Well done.
Gotcha.
Excellent. Now I did that because what we're going to do is we're going to do, just keep to the right, make sure you stay on that radial, turn to the right. See, there's the heading bug over there to the right. You're flying that one there.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can see now what's happening is the course deviation indicator is going to the other side because we're sort of moving on this side of it.
Right.
Down the bottom here, DME, that's our distance measuring equipment. It's saying we're 10 miles from the field.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly out. Just watch our altitude. We don't gain too much there, so keep that nose down. We're going to fly out to around about 15 miles out. Then we're going to turn back on, and then we're going to intercept the approach radial, which is 095, which is our runway heading. Okay, so we'll just keep following that out for about a few more extra miles. I'll set up the radial on mine. 095. Looking good. Okay, just watch we don't gain any more altitude though. We're at about 4,000 feet now. Okay, so what you're going to do now is set your course here to 095. 095. Okay, excellent. We'll slow ourselves down to 200, so 200 knots. We're going to turn our heading to the left to 185. Left to 185. Okay, and we're going to make our left turn onto intercept that heading. Okay, so making your turn left now. All right. Remember, no greater than 25 degrees, so just a little bit of right turn, otherwise we'll over the bank. A little bit of right turn. That's it. There we go. So, to give you an idea, there's our runway heading.
Yeah.
That's where we're turning onto that. We're going to fly in at about 90 degrees to our runway heading until we intercept the, heading, altitude.
Yeah.
because then it gets away from you quickly, doesn't it?
Sure does.
We're going to intercept that, and when that gets to around about the first circle, that's CDI, the pink line, gets about the first circle,
Yeah.
we're going to make our turn onto final on the runway. The green line, remember, the green arrow is pointing towards the Adelaide, and that's what we want to intercept. So you'll see that slowly start to come in towards that as we start getting closer towards that radial. So keep it turning to the left though. At the moment we're still flying
Sorry?
keep turning to the left. At the moment we're at
yeah.
248. We want to be at 185. That's all right. There we go. Alright, as soon as we're on what we class as the base turn, we'll start slowing us down a bit more. Okay, so roll out on that command heading as it comes around.
Yeah.
Watch our altitude, we don't break 3,000.
Yeah.
And roll the wings level there. Excellent. So we'll fly that in. We'll go 180 speed, go flaps 1. It's slowly starting to dribble off all the energy. And while we're just doing that, we'll also get ourselves set up for our full stop landing. Our max brakes, speed brake arm, so lift it up, that's it, drop into position, beautiful. Okay, it's looking good, landing lights are on, engines on continuous. Just watch we don't lose that 3,500, sorry.
Yep.
You can see how the actual aid itself is slowly starting to come into that radial. So what happens is the aid's over there,
Yeah.
the radial's here,
Uh-huh.
and it's slowly starting to
To line up.
line up.
Yeah. Okay.
And down here it says around about 17 miles out.
Okay.
And so St. Martin's doesn't have a precision approach like we did at Capt. So what we do is we've got to manually judge our heights as we're
Yes.
going down.
Okay.
But we can use the VOR and the CDI as our horizontal guidance. So that
Okay.
keeps us on a straight line in.
Okay.
It's just the vertical we've got to fly manually. So alright, should start seeing it move when as those two start to close up. We'll start to see the CDI
Yeah.
begin to
come
move
in line.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it means that we're sort of pretty much getting closer towards that radial.
Okay.
I'll just come over here and meet your
Yep.
heading there. There we go, that's all right. Okay, you can see it starting to move now.
Yep.
All right, so we're starting to get closer. Remember, when it gets to that circle there, the first circle, we'll just start a slow rate 1 turn, which is our 25 degrees, onto the 095. So you can see it heading now for 095 if you want to. 095, excellent. And start your turn now. Yep, start your turn. Keep turning, keep it down to a rate 1, which is 25 degrees. And we should be able to intercept that. Okay, hold it there. Don't let the descent, the altitude drop though. Keep the nose up.
Yep.
Don't let it drop. Keep it nose up. So keep the turn left, but don't let the nose drop. That's it. That's doing really well. Don't straighten out yet. Keep it turning to the left. Keep it turning to the left. Keep it turning to the left. Otherwise you'll overshoot it. Keep it turning, keep it turning, keep it turning. All the way to the heading. All the way to the heading. And hold it, keep holding it, keep holding it, and level the wings. Now. Excellent, level the wings, straight away. Get all the wings level, to the right. That's it, beautiful. Excellent, well done. So you can see we've lined up now.
Yep.
Have a look ahead of us. We've actually got the runway probably in sight.
Oh yeah.
Got the runway in sight?
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. All right, so we're 11 miles out. We can probably just put our landing gear out and down now. The other way. That's the one.
Yeah.
We'll go flaps 5. 160 speed, sorry.
Oh.
Excellent. And we can start our rate of descent now. Let's wait till the speed drops down a bit. And alright, go 150, 15 flaps, then nose down. And we'll look for around about 800 foot rate of descent. So currently it's say 1200, so we'll just pull the nose back. That's it, hold that, yep. Excellent. Now come over to the right a little bit. You can see, according to the CDI, we're a little bit left of the radial, so come over to the right a bit more. And you'll see that you will line up again. So we're about 8 miles. We want to be around about 2,400 feet at 8 miles. So 27, which is good, so which is not too bad. And so this will be a full stop landing, so we will use a reverse thrust. But also being a short field, we're going to use flaps 40 on this one. We're still going to go to 30, but just before the landing, we're going to go to flaps 40.
Okay.
All right. At 6 miles, we're going to be about 1,800. It's looking good. I can see the Pepe Lights now. Can you see the Pepe Lights on the runway? 2 red, 2 white.
No.
Nope, not yet. 6 3s are 8. Yeah, we're on 1,800, so which is good. All right. We're going to put out flaps 30 now. So flaps 30, 142. Okay, get ready to push the nose forward. That's going to try to balloon us up. We don't want to get too high too quick. Push her forward, that's it. Now keep that profile. Can you see the runway, Peppies?
Yep.
Keep that position on this windscreen. Excellent. It's looking good. Okay, we're now going to go flaps 40, 3 miles, about 900, excellent. And I'll just do our speed for us, 137. Turn to the left a little bit, just line up with that runway now, get that runway lined up there. It's going to try to balloon us again, don't let it balloon us up. Keep it coming down, keep the descent coming down, keep it coming down, push forward, push forward. Got 3 white now, all white. Okay, so straighten up now to the left.
1,000.
So this is come over to the left a little bit more.
Yeah.
So get that lined up, that point there. Okay, when you're lined up nice, just hold it there. That's good. Lights coming back in. 1 red, 3 white. We just reached our minimum descent, so we are cleared. Remember, full stop, so 100 will be disengage auto thrust, 50 will be to idle. Once we're on the ground, it'll be reverse thrust. Look at that, beautiful. 2 red, 2 white, well done. Keep it coming down, keep it coming down. Keep that same position. Hands on the thrust, be ready for it. A little bit of left hand down on the There we go.
100.
There it is. Disengage, disengage, disengage.
50.
All the way idle.
30.
Hold
20.
it, hold it, hold it.
10.
Beautiful. Full reverse thrust. Yeah, well done. Excellent. And 60 knots, release the reverse thrust. And brakes. Well done. Fantastic.